very, very prudently. When we say that governance will not cease because we are in what you may call pre-election year, you could see that the governor is walking the talk. He's looking ahead by delivering projects that touches the life of the people. We are doing this supervision and tour of these projects because the governor has made it clear that if you fall short of the provisions in the Bill of Engineering Measurement and Evaluation, we will blacklist you. And we are seeing much more quality work coming in. We're also seeing greater speed.
On the news tonight, federal, states and local governments share 1.894 trillion naira as revenue for February 2026. Female students charged to cultivate reading habits to improve academic performance. National Emergency Management Agency warns Nigerians of increased fire outbreak. Abroad, Iran warns of possible strike on U.S. positions in UAE as Gulf tensions escalate. Good evening and welcome to Delta Television Main News at 8. I am Perpetua Iboba. You can follow our news online on Facebook at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba and on YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. Now the details. A total of 1.894 trillion naira has been shared among the three tiers of government as Federation account revenue for February 2026. The revenue was distributed at the meeting of the Federation Account Allocation Committee held in Abuja. According to a communique issued after the meeting, the amount comprised 1.7274 trillion naira in statutory revenue and 619.1 billion naira from value-added tax. From the total distributable revenue, the federal government received 675.088 billion naira, while state government got 651.52 billion naira. Local government councils received 456.467 billion naira, while oil-producing states got 110.949 billion naira as derivation revenue. The committee also disclosed that statutory revenue and VAT recorded significant declines last month compared with January. Female students in the state have been urged to cultivate a habit of reading to improve their academic performance and secure a brighter future. The wife of the state governor, Deaconess Tobore Oborewori, made the call during the maiden edition of the Ndokwa Girls Quiz Competition and Reading Culture Festival. Henry Onogwa reports.
The event was organized by the Umata Charity Foundation in collaboration with the Ndokwa Neko Union Women Wing and held at Ndokwa House in Kwale, Ndokwa West Local Government Area. Represented by the wife of the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mrs. Timebi Guo, said the initiative aimed to revive the culture of reading among young people, noting that reading broadened knowledge, built confidence, and prepared children for leadership roles.
Cultivating the habit of reading among our young people is essential. Reading opens the mind, it builds confidence, it expands imagination, and prepares our children to take on leadership roles in society.
Mrs. Loretta Obedo, Director General of the Umata Charity Foundation, explained that the program aimed to motivate young people, especially the girl child, to embrace education and positive values.
When you study, you will not have the time to think of drugs. Children, are you hearing me? When you are thinking of your future, you won't think of moving. You won't think of any drug because you are thinking of what you want to be.
Also speaking, Chief Johnson Opone, represented by his wife, Honorable Success Opone, commended the organizers, stressing that no community could progress if it neglected the education of its children, particularly girls.
We therefore encourage the organizer not to relent. What you have started is normal, timely and worthy of support.
In their separate remarks, the convener, Mrs. Cynthia Oputa Governor, Honorable Bridget Anyafolo, Chief Amechi Asoguni, and Mrs. Christine Jobome Emetulu emphasized that education remained a vital role for development.
Umata Charity Foundation is the pet project of Her Excellency, the First Lady of Delta State, serving two broad purposes: empowering women and the girl child, and also guiding the Delta young females on the path of universal truth.
15 schools participated in the quiz. Umutu Mills Secondary School emerged first, Otabobe Technical College placed second, while Emuno and Abi Secondary School shared third. Ashaka Mills Secondary School won the Reading Culture Revival Contest. Winners received trophies, cash prizes, and medals, while 3,000 notebooks were distributed to the students.
I thank the organizers for the support, and we pray that they should continue, they should never stop.
I want to say thank you to the organizer. I say thank you. God bless you.
Henry Onogwa reporting.
The call for women to seize every opportunity for education and gainful employment has been re-emphasized. The Commissioner for Women Affairs, Community and Social Development, Honorable Pat Ajudwa, stated this during an interview on Delta Broadcasting Service Morning Ride. Esther Oputa reports.
Honorable Ajudwa highlighted the state government's commitment to promoting women, noting that many now hold key positions across government. She added that the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community and Social Development provided skills training, startup packs for new ventures, and support for women already in business. The commissioner also praised the International Women's Day celebration organized by Deaconess Tobore Oborewori, wife of the state governor, which brought women together from across the state. She said such events allowed for appraisal and reappraisal, ensuring that the challenges women face will be continuously addressed.
Celebrating International Women's Day is a result-oriented event, because for each year you celebrate, you reappraise. Okay. And when you bring the challenges before you, you will now begin to seek the solution to it and the way forward. Mm-hmm. So it is an appraisal of the past, the present, and even the future.
Established on March 8, 2017, International Women's Day celebrates women's resilience and dedication across all spheres. This year's theme, Give to Gain, empowering women through digital storytelling, encouraged the use of digital tools to amplify women's voices and achievements. Honorable Ajudwa reaffirmed the government's commitment to empowering women and creating an enabling environment for their growth and success. Esther Oputa reporting.
International Women's Day, observed every year on March 8, has continued to spark global conversations about women's rights, achievement, and the challenges that remain in achieving gender equality. The 2026 observance focused on the theme, Rights, Justice, and Action for All Women and Girls. News commentary written by Antonia Moa of the editorial unit.
However, beyond the celebrations and tributes, International Women's Day served as an important reminder that the journey towards gender equality was far from being over. While women across the world have made remarkable strides in leadership, education, politics, and business, many still faced barriers that limited their opportunities, that empowered women and protected their rights, from access to quality education, empowerment, and leadership opportunities. The focus remained on ensuring that women and girls can reach their full potentials. In many societies, women continue to play vital roles in families, communities, and national development. Yet, their contributions were not matched with their equal opportunities or representation. International Women's Day helped highlight the gaps and reminded stakeholders of the need to close them. Importantly, the observance also inspired young girls by showcasing role models who have broken barriers and excelled in their different fields. By amplifying women's voices and celebrating their achievements, the day strengthened the call for a more inclusive and equitable world. Ultimately, empowering women was not just a woman's issue, but a global development priority. When women are educated, supported, and given equal opportunities, societies become more prosperous, peaceful, and progressive. A world that empowered women's strength, voice, and leadership is a world that truly progressed.
Residents of Asaba have continued to express concern over the rising cost of fuel and its impact on their daily lives and businesses. Many say the development has further worsened the economic hardship faced by families and small-scale business operators. Henry Unogwa reports.
A cross-section of residents said the increase in fuel price has led to a sharp rise in transportation fares and the cost of goods and services across the state capital. A commercial driver noted that the situation has made life more difficult for both transport operators and passengers. According to him, drivers have been forced to increase fares because of the high cost of fuel, while passengers often complained about the increment. He appealed to the government to consider reducing the pump price of fuel to about 500 naira per litre to ease the burden on citizens.
See, before I started this keke na 30 naira, 30 naira, 30 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, 150 to 200. Government, I beg, no be say by force. Make una reduce the fuel. We drivers for keke, they cheat passenger. Government, they cheat drivers.
In the same vein, a tricycle rider recalled the amount previously paid for transportation before the recent increase in fare price. He explained that the development has affected the cost of services and forced traders to raise the prices of their goods just to make a small profit.
It's really affecting our business. One, there's no passenger. One passenger will not come out. If you tell somebody now, this is the amount. Like me, for example, we are carrying 200 before. Now, if you tell, because of the increment of the fuel, if you tell somebody it's 300 now, it will not enter. If you say you will trek, you will rather trek than enter the keke.
We do carry passenger in our park at the rate of 100 naira. After we do carry them 150. They complain. You know the way customers behave. They complain. But now that the fuel price has increased. No, there's no any alternative for us, because you can't please your customer and please yourself.
Another respondent said the situation has placed serious financial pressure on families, noting that many households now struggle to meet basic needs such as transportation, food, and electricity, especially as fuel was also used power generators in the face of irregular power supply.
My business is not going well because of the increase of fuel, and I couldn't able to make up daily work as the daily money. I can't remit because the transportation people are no longer patronizing me. I profit and compare to the price of fuel to at least 500 naira per liter.
At some motor parks, motorists complain of poor patronage, saying many commuters have reduced their trips due to a high transport fares. They therefore called on the government to introduce measures that will cushion the effect of the fuel price increase and improve the living conditions of citizens. Henry Onogwa reporting.
The country's media industry has appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to grant tariff exemptions on newsprint and printing materials. The appeal was made during an interfaith Ramadan and Lenten dinner at the State House in Abuja. Leaders of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, Nigerian Guild of Editors, and Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria said the rising production costs threatened the sustainability of media organizations. Speaking on behalf of the industry, the Business Day publisher, Mr. Frank Ibogun, urged the federal government to provide relief through tariff waivers on essential production materials. In response, President Tinubu urged the media to intensify the scrutiny of state and local governments to strengthen accountability and governance. The president also defended his administration's economic reforms, including the removal of fuel subsidy, saying the decisions were necessary to stabilize the country's economy. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, says the cashless payment policy at major airports will be fully enforced. Mr. Keyamo reiterated this while on inspection at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The minister said the policy would continue in line with the directive from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The development followed the introduction of a hybrid payment system by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, allowing travelers to pay toll fees using automated gold cards, cash, or other digital channels. The system was introduced after technical issues with the initial cashless rollout caused traffic congestion at airport gates earlier this month. Meanwhile, FAN Managing Director Olubumi Kuku inspected the rollout of the hybrid system at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. She said the system was designed to improve traffic flow and gradually transition airport users to digital payment. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has warned Nigerians of an increased risk of fire outbreaks and heat-related illnesses due to rising temperatures across the country. In a statement issued on behalf of the agency's Director General, Mr. Zubaida Umar, Nigerians were urged to take precautionary measures. The agency advised residents to handle flammable materials carefully and ensure proper storage of combustible substances. NEMA also urged citizens to stay hydrated and pay attention to weather advisories from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NEMET. The agency had earlier warned that temperatures could rise above 40 degrees Celsius in several states including Anambra, Abia, Kogi, and the Federal Capital Territory. You're watching the Delta Television main news at 8. Still to come, Iran warns of possible strike on U.S. positions in UAE as Gulf tensions escalate. Details of this and more after the break.
As a host community, try as much as possible to guide your utterances. No company can be intimidated. The companies are also urged to keep to their social responsibility, the corporate social responsibility. I always say it, keep to it. If you keep to the corporate social responsibility, no host community will hold you ransom.
You're watching the Delta Television main news at 8. The global scene is next as we join our world news desk.
Tensions in the Middle East are escalating as Iran has warned it may target United States positions in the United Arab Emirates following a drone attack that disrupted operations at a major energy hub. Authorities said some oil loading activities were suspended in the United Arab Emirates of Fujairah after the attack, with television footage showing thick plumes of smoke rising from the area. Iranian military officials accuse U.S. forces of launching strikes on Iranian territory from bases in the Gulf, warning civilians to stay away from ports, docks, and locations they described as American hideouts. The conflict, now in its third week, has reportedly claimed more than 2,000 lives, most of them in Iran, and has triggered one of the largest disruptions to global oil supply in recent history. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says several countries are preparing to deploy naval forces to the region to ensure safe passage for ships through the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic waterway that carries about 20% of the world's fossil fuel supply. Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei has however suggested the strait could remain closed as part of Tehran's strategy in the ongoing confrontation. The Palestinian group Hamas has called on Iran to avoid attacking neighboring Gulf states as the region conflict intensifies. In a rare appeal to its key ally, the group urged Iranian authorities to refrain from targeting countries in the region and called on all nations to work together to end the war. While making the appeal, Hamas maintained that Iran has a right to defend itself against ongoing attacks by the United States and Israel. Iran has said its retaliatory strikes are aimed at American military installations in the Gulf, although several attacks have reportedly affected civilian infrastructure. Casualties have also been reported across the region, including deaths in the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain. Hamas, which governs the Gaza Strip, is widely regarded as one of Iran's closest regional allies, receiving financial, military, and political support from Tehran. The group has been engaged in a prolonged conflict with Israel in Gaza, though a ceasefire brokered by the United States took effect last October. Both sides have since accused each other of repeated violations, while negotiations continue over the next phase of the agreement.
The need for members of the Nigerian Red Cross Society in the state to work in unity and uphold the fundamental principles of the organization to strengthen humanitarian services across the state has been stressed. The outgoing state branch chairman, Chief Trainer Adolphus Anuagasi, stated this during the 27th annual general meeting and election of the state branch held in Asaba. Henry Unogwa reports.
Chief Anuagasi thanked members and volunteers for their dedication, noting that the support of stakeholders greatly contributed to the achievements recorded during his tenure, especially in responding to emergencies and assisting vulnerable persons. He encouraged members to remain steadfast in promoting volunteerism, compassion, and unity in line with Red Cross ideals, expressing confidence that the incoming leadership will build on the foundation laid to further strengthen humanitarian activities in the state.
I've been in charge of Nigerian Red Cross Society Delta State Branch for the past 8 years. And today, I'm happy to say my reign has come to an end today, but I still remain a humanitarian. I want to tell my successor that he should brace up and be equal to the task.
Goodwill messages were delivered by stakeholders, including the State Commissioner for Works and Public Information, Mr. Charles Aniago, represented by Mr. Giovanni Emefia. The Commissioner for Environment, represented by Mr. Sylvester Ofuyepone, commended the state branch for providing relief and support to communities in their times of need. The dedication of Red Cross volunteers was described as inspiring, with stakeholders noting their resilience and commitment in uplifting communities and promoting empathy and care.
Let me also assure you that the government of Delta State, led by our hardworking Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborivoli, will continue to partner with you and all other well-meaning Deltans and organizations to bring succor to our people.
Particularly grateful to Nigerian Red Cross Society for their collaboration with Delta State Primary Care Development Agency, especially in training healthcare workers on capacity to be able to manage patients' resuscitation.
The role of the Red Cross is so important to us and particularly to the general manager, and this she has always done to ensure that the Red Cross humanitarian activity is captured and held regularly. Red Cross and the media are just like brothers and sisters when it comes to humanitarian service and conflicts all around the world.
Goodwill message is that we should continue to serve humanity. That is our calling, service to humanity.
The event featured a guard of honor inspected by Chief Anuagasi and included the presentation of meritorious awards and certificates to deserving members. The occasion also saw the swearing in of newly elected executives led by Professor Edmond Atapo, who was returned unopposed as state branch chairman. He pledged to strengthen humanitarian services and continue support for vulnerable persons across the state.
We will ensure that the youth, they are the youth wing, the women under the umbrella of Mothers Club, and the experienced veterans of the society feel a sense of ownership.
Henry Onogwa reporting.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has introduced new guidelines aimed at strengthening instant payment operations and improving security across the country. In a circular issued by the CBN's Payment System Policy Department and signed by its director, Mr. Musa Jimo, the Apex Bank directed that mobile banking applications must now be restricted to a single device per customer. Customers will no longer be able to operate the same banking app on multiple devices simultaneously. Any attempt to migrate a banking application to another device will automatically trigger a fresh authentication and reactivation process. Customers can also opt in or opt out of instant payment services at any time, subject to multi-factor authentication. CBN further directed financial institutions to implement enterprise fraud monitoring systems to track suspicious transactions and prevent fraud. Stricter verification measures for online account opening and reactivation were also introduced, including real-time validation with the Bank Verification Number (BVN) and National Identity Number databases. For newly activated mobile banking applications, a temporary transaction limit of 20,000 naira will apply within the first 24 hours. The new guideline will take effect July 1, 2026. Earlier, the CBN also instructed banks to impose restrictions on customers who default on loan. The Naira has continued its upward trend against the United States dollar at the official foreign exchange market. Data from the Central Bank of Nigeria showed that the Naira appreciated 1,366.23 per dollar, above 1,371.51 naira recorded the previous day, a gain of 5.28 naira. At the parallel market, however, the naira remained unchanged at 1,440 naira per dollar, the same rate as Thursday. Since Tuesday, March 10, the naira has gained over 35 naira against the dollar in the official market. Bureau de change operators noted a slight weakening in the parallel market, with a drop of about 20 naira over the last 4 days. Meanwhile, the country's external reserves stood at $50.3 billion as of March 11, 2026. Let's join our sports news desk for happenings in the world of sports.
Nigeria's women's national basketball team, the Tigers, delivered a commanding second-half performance to defeat the Philippines women's national basketball team 101-84 in their third match of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifiers in France. The win marks Nigeria's second victory in 3 games in the qualification tournament. The Philippines has started strongly, edging the first 2 quarters and making a narrow lead into the halftime. Nigeria trailed 26-21 at the end of the first quarter and remained behind at the break. However, the Africa champions turned the game around with an impressive display. The Tigers dominated the third quarter, outscoring the Philippines 34-21 to take control before sealing the victory with a 25-12 run in the final quarter. Nigeria had earlier opened the tournament with a win over the Colombia women's national basketball team, before losing to South Korea women's national basketball team. The Tigers will next face the Germany women's national basketball team and tournament host France women's national basketball team in their remaining fixtures. Former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua is preparing to return to the ring as he begins a fresh push for a 3rd world title. His promoter, Eddie Hearn, says the British Nigeria boxer is now physically and mentally ready to resume full training following a challenging period. Hearn revealed that Joshua could feature in a major fight later this year, potentially against fellow British heavyweight Tyson Fury. Joshua, who won gold at the 2012 London Olympic Games, has recently returned to training at a former amateur gym in Finchley, London. His comeback follows a tragic road accident near Shagamu in Ogun State about 3 months ago. The crash claimed the lives of 2 of his close friends and left the boxer dealing with emotional trauma while recovering from minor injuries. Despite the setback, Joshua is determined to continue his boxing career and return to the world title picture later this year.
Our thoughts for the day. A world that empowers women's strength, voice and leadership is a world that progresses. Now for a rundown of the major stories in our bulletin this evening. A total of 1.894 trillion naira has been shared among the 3 tiers of government as Federation account revenue for February 2026. The revenue was distributed at the meeting of the Federation Account Allocation Committee held in Abuja. Female students in the state have been urged to cultivate a habit of reading to improve their academic performance and secure a brighter future. The wife of the state governor, Deaconess Tobore Oborewori, made the call during the maiden edition of the Ndokwa Girls Quiz Competition and Reading Culture Festival. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has warned Nigerians of an increased risk of fire outbreak and heat-related illnesses due to rising temperatures across the country. In a statement issued on behalf of the agency's Director General, Mr. Zubaida Omar, Nigerians were urged to take precautionary measures. And abroad, Iran warns of possible strike on U.S. positions in UAE as Gulf tensions escalate. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website at www.dbsasaba.com. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Perpetua Iboba. Thanking you so much for watching. Good evening.